Remember that song by David Bowie? Changes. You know, they say life is about change, and it's very true. So much change in my life. People have come, people have gone. Family dies when they get old. Some family died before they got old, like my sister. Family shrunk, but it grew in other ways. My daughters and son-in-laws and now grandsons and friends have come and gone. And things I've been involved in life have changed along the way, you know, including friends. Some come, some go. It's part of life. I've got older. I've been involved in doing things in my life that I never thought I would have when I was, 9, 10 years old. Every now and then I take a stroll down memory lane. I know it probably bores the fucking shit out of some people, but hey, we all have our freedom of speech. And I mention things and it reminds me of things and it makes me take a little different look at things, I'm going through some more changes right now. And it was brought on by a stroll down memory lane when I talked about the internet from day one with AOL and through Facebook. Like I said, I never had MySpace and Yahoo and Twitter or Instagram. It started out kind of fun. AOL. I got involved in a few of their chat rooms and it was fun until I saw how the people changed. It turned into fucking battle zones. People fighting every fucking day, and I got away from that. Because it wasn't fun anymore. Facebook came along. I never got involved in all these other groups you see, politics, religion, this, that, all this other shit, and people in there fighting every fucking day. And they made it very clear that their purpose on there was to try to fucking destroy something. The Catholics were going after the Muslims were going after the Jews, the atheists were going after the Christians, and it was like, you know how I feel about religion and that, but there are some ways to talk about things and discuss things that people can do it in a very civil, social way. Even public perception, social changes in society, abortion, politics. And a lot of people are able to discuss their differences and things without turning into ranting, raving assholes, And that kind of inspired me to say, you know what, maybe there should be a page up on here where people can discuss it like, civilized human beings. Well, what is it you don't like about that? And when people would talk together rather than talk at each other, you'd be surprised how, some people may be on a different side of a fence on something, but they're not too extreme, they're not too far out on the fringe, on the radical fringe, where they can still get along and socialize. And you find that, you're not even talking about these subjects anymore. You're talking about sports, the weather, the economy, you know what I mean? And I decided I'd start a page like that called The Voice of Reason, just for shits and giggles to see what would happen. Well, it turned out pretty well. It grew quite big in 1 year. 159,000 of those likes and whatnot. Nobody knew who I was. I was just an initial. Nobody needed to know I was black, white, tall, short, gay, straight, male, female. And it went wild. Then after a while, I saw that a lot of that mentality from other groups was starting to creep into it. Then a lot of arguing and fighting, and then people were trolling each other's pages, and I was like, nah, this is not going to be a war zone. And I thought about it for a little while. So I'm going to shut it down. But I didn't want to be too hasty. I thought about it for about a week. And I said, yeah, this isn't fun anymore. And plus it feels like a job. This is supposed to be something fun to do in free time. Not something like there's an obligation. You got to do it every day for so many hours every day, so many posts every day to keep some interest going in it. And then I reached that point. I woke up one morning. I told you about this already. I woke up one morning and said, that's it, you know. Everything runs its course. Everything runs its course. And I just put up a post just to let people know I'm going to be shutting down the page. I appreciate your participation over the last year, but things are going on in my life. I just don't have the time, and I really don't have the interest that I once had in it. So thank you for your participation. I wish you all well. And then it is a 24-hour cycle. I don't know about now. I don't deal with Facebook for a long time. So in case you change your mind, after 24 hours, goes away. So I just want you to know why it's going to disappear tomorrow. And that gave enough time for that businessman up in Boston with his 2 car dealerships and another business contacted me through the message, AB, don't shut it down, I'll buy it off you. It'll save me money on advertising. I can back off on TV, radio ads, and I'll give you 50 grand, pay you 25 grand a year. It'll actually save me money in the long run because they had a post reach of like over 2 million. I said, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not on here for the money. And it went away. And since I did that video, I've been thinking along the same lines coming to YouTube now. Yeah. I walked away once before, shut it down due to my personal life. The death of my sister. Everything changed. There was no way I was going to find any fun on here. With what I was going on in my personal life, with my family life, there was no way I could enjoy it on here the way I was doing it before. And I know when I get through this video, you might want to make some popcorn for this one. People talked all kinds of shit about me, and they're going to talk shit about me again. A lot of people always have talked shit about me, and they'll talk shit about you and other people too. Because that's what it's like on the internet. That's how people are. You know, if you really give a flying fuck about what people think about you, maybe the internet is not where you belong, okay? If your feelings get hurt that easily, you know. And I got talked back into it with my friend Kevin Turner here, and he lives close by down here on the peninsula. He said, hey, listen, come back. He says, I watch your shit. He's been a silent observer from day one. A lot of people are silent observers here. They never said a word, jumped in a comment, but they've known me for many, many years, 15, 20 years, on a real personal, real-life basis. When we do talk about things, hey, that video you put up today, we're talking about it on the phone. They'll drop in here. I drop by their house, and we talk about it, and we have a good laugh, you know? They prefer to just sit in the background and see what other people say, what they do, you know? And they've criticized me at times on a few little things here and there. And that's how it goes, man. That's life, you know? So when I said, you know, I've been getting that same kind of feeling here with YouTube. It's not the fun it used to be. It's turned into a fucking war zone. And going back to AOL, I've encountered every type of personality you can imagine. The people that are just funny. You can tell a person's personality if they're good-natured, if they have a sense of humor. Yeah, they can even be sarcastic, too. They may have a little knowledge in sports, in cars, in the ecology, the tree hugger, whatever. A lot of people have a lot of different interests, you know. And you can see the people that you can have a pretty fun conversation with, and the ones that are always wound up, they're always pissed off, they're always angry, they're always complaining, they crave attention, they got egos and narcissisms the size of Mount Rushmore. And their reason for being on here is not the same as everyone else. Like on Facebook, it turned into people just going on Facebook looking for a fight. Going out of their way to find these groups where they were talking about things because they may be, you know, liberal and they hate conservatives, and they would scour groups to find someone to fight with all day about politics or about religion or about, you know what I mean? People just using it to like vent all their anger and frustration and rage on people and to try to argue people to death. What? Does that give you some sense of accomplishment? What, you guys go to work, hey, guess what? I won a Facebook argument last night. Am I cool or what? Same shit on here. Same fucking shit on here. You know, and I laughed at it for a long time. And what a drama, chaos, and all. Yeah, I've been involved in it too. But I always slept well at night. I never went to bed angry, frustrated, pissed off at anybody that I encountered on here, regardless of what video they put up and said about me. I never gave a fuck. You know what I mean? And now we're just going on and changes. I got to do my therapy in a little bit. My orthopedic surgeon, he stepped up my therapy at Hawthorne Orthopedics. Going to start next week. Now it's going to start tomorrow. They want to get me in a little heavier regimen with movement, weight, pressure. So I'm going to be starting that tomorrow instead of Monday. And I've been missing out on a lot of things. I haven't been to the BTH since I had surgery. I'm not getting out like I usually do now these last couple of weeks, dropping in on my daughters. Because my daughters, my Audie, my Benji. I had to spend $35 to have a fucking watermelon delivered. I couldn't get to the fucking supermarket to get it. A lot of little changes. You know, I've had company, Kenny, a few of the guys your ladies have stopped by. My daughters have stopped by. I feel like a fucking prisoner in this house. Just for a simple thing like I can't get up and about, you know what I mean? And I want this to go well because I want to get back to how things were. You know? It made me think about how I'm not getting any younger, man. You know? I want this to go well so I can get back to the BTH. I can get back to dropping and visiting people. I want to be able to walk right without any problems because all the recuperation process and therapy didn't go right because I didn't stick to the plan with my surgeon. I only have so much time left for my grandsons when they get older. I want to be able to teach them how to play basketball. I don't want to have a limp for the rest of my fucking life. And a lot of things made me think about how during all this time, what I really need. You know, a lot of times we like to think about what we want. We don't really think about what we need. And for me, my family and friends have always come first. And I find that this isn't fun anymore. I already made that clear. It's not fun. If you notice, I haven't given a flying fuck about what anybody else is doing on their channels because it's just going to be the same shit. You know, I know that nobody's going to miss me when I'm gone. Like some people, they think they're so fucking important. You know, I know he'll probably talk shit about me. You know, you got Mr. Boston. He actually thinks he's a fucking celebrity, and he's not the only one. These people actually think they're a fucking celebrity. And they beg for their subs and views and, you know, beg for money. And, you know, they have to make announcements. Okay, I'm going to be doing a video, you know, Thursday at 3 in the afternoon or some shit like that. Well, and they think people are going to just drop what they're doing in their daily life. Hey, I got to tune in and watch this guy when he talks shit about Uncle Brian and this other buddy there, Beavis and Butthead. I don't even know what's going on with any of them. Not since I had surgery. And I don't care. And I know they'll probably talk shit. That's okay. I don't care. They gotta feed that ego. They gotta feel important. In some way they feel like, hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. I had the hiccups. I drank my coffee too fast. They seem to have this sense of self-importance that comes with ego and narcissism and a need for attention. They seem to feel like the internet needs them, like the internet cannot survive without them. The internet cannot survive without their channel. The internet needs to see them. The internet needs to hear them. You know what I mean? And I kind of laugh at it. You know what I mean? But the channel's not going anywhere. I share it with Kevin, and he's going to keep doing what he's been doing. He's not into making videos. Doesn't give a flying fuck about wanting people to know who he is. He'll just keep doing what he's doing. Stuff he watches. He has his own playlist with his own music sets and whatnot. And you just won't be seeing me. I know that'll make some people happy, right? But anyway, that's the deal. I thought I'd owe you a little explanation on things. Yeah, I know it's not going to be like Jabba. I know I've heard about him. He's countless times. He gives a big, long farewell speech because people don't appreciate him. His channel's not growing the way he wanted it to grow. You know, people are picking on him and all that shit. So he's going to punish you. Oh, yeah. And so they feel they're going to punish people. Oh, yeah? I'm going to shut down my channel. I'll show you a thing or two or three. Isn't that Three Stooges used to do that? Like, it's like payback. It's in his mind. He thinks people really need to see him fuck around with that Bel Air and fuck around with Hot Wheels cars. And people look forward to seeing him doing that because he is so important, you know? Anyway, things, you know, it'll be the same in one way and another way. This is going to be the last video you're going to see up on here from Uncle Brian. So, for those of you that we've got along over a period of time, that's cool. I'm glad we got along. For those of us that didn't get along so well, that's okay too. I can live with it. I'm sure you can live with it too, right? I've never lost a wink of sleep over you fucking guys. But I get a little bit of an inkling of a feeling that some of you have lost a little bit of sleep over me at sometimes with all your anger and rage and hate and frustration. And listen, I've said about enough here. And I'm tired. So